Good evening. I'll now call the City of Cannon Falls City Council meeting for Tuesday, February 5th to order. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Duncan,
Here.
Holst,
Here.
Johnson,
Here.
Mattson,
Here.
McCusker,
Yes.
Schoblum,
Here.
and Mayor Robinson.
Here. All please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And good evening, everyone, and welcome. I see Winters returned, and so this time the chair will take a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Merle, second by Bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. This time we'll move on to item 5, which is public input. Citizens may speak to issues not on the agenda. Before speaking, please give your name and address for the minutes, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. As there's no one to speak tonight, we'll move on from public input to item 6, which is a public hearing. At this time, we will open the public hearing for Resolution 2000, certifying unpaid utility charges to be collected with taxes. We have about $19,000 worth of 62 unpaid utilities.
Nice to have that total, thank you. And also, when I started on this council, that was, for a while, it was up over 30,000. It's nice to finally see us get below that 20. So good job to Public Works to work on that stuff and do some different things.
Okay, is there anyone wishing to address the council under the public hearing for the delinquent water and sewer bills? If not, at this time, we'll close the public hearing. And Chair will take a motion to adopt Resolution 2000, certifying unpaid utility charges to be collected with taxes.
So moved. And I'll second that.
Motion by Merle, second by Bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. And that moves us to item 7, which is the consent agenda. Items on this area of the agenda may be adopted or they may be removed and placed on the business area of the agenda for discussion purposes before approving. For those folks at home, I will read the consent agenda. Item A is adjusting correct claims for the accounting period ending December the 31st, 2012. Item B, adjusting correct claims for accounting period ending February the 1st, 2013. Item C, the meeting minutes for the January 8th, 2013 City Council meeting. Item D, the meeting minutes for the January 15th, 2013 City Council meeting. Item E, application for payment number 6 for the library construction project. Item F, library furniture alarm and letter installation. Item G, Resolution 2001, entering into 52 Interchange Project Cooperative Construction Agreement. Item H, improvement and special assessment agreement for Molyneux Medical, LLC. Item I, Resolution 1999, providing notice of intent for annexation, Mayo Clinic Health System. Item J, Resolution 2003, authorizing acceptance of a donation from Invenergy Services, LLC to the Police Department. Item K, hiring of part-time police officers. Item L, election of 2013 Fire Department officers. Are there any areas anyone wishes to bring down?
G for me, G.
G?
Yeah.
Okay. That'll become item 8B. Any others? If not, Chair will take a motion to approve the consent agenda minus item G, which is Resolution 2001, entered into 52 Interchange Project Cooperative Construction Agreement.
So moved. And I'll second that.
Motion by Merle, second by Bill. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries.
Hey Jay, I forgot to tell you that when I forget to turn my mic on, Phil used to always take care of it.
Sorry. I'll do that next time. Did you get it on now?
She's on.
All right.
Okay, we'll move on to item 8A, for council business, Resolution 2002, approving plans and specifications and ordering advertisements for bids.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the resolution before you tonight is accepting the plans for the East Side project or the 2013 street improvements and authorizing us to go out and advertise for bids. Just a quick review of the project. Over here, we've got the high school, Highway 19 right here. And we're doing the blocks of Oak, Vine, and Hoffman here south of 19. And then the block of Bridge Street from Water to Minnesota. Same with Cedar from Water to Minnesota. Water Street from Bridge all the way to the cul-de-sac. A block of Vine from State to Minnesota. 2 blocks of Grove. And Almond around to the cul-de-sac, and then Stoughton Court. This block of Stoughton is left out. That's a newer sewer and water main and a newer street section. So we've done the survey, the soil borings, the plans are prepared. I have a draft set with me tonight, and we're tracking right on the estimate for construction. So as we go out for bids, we're still anticipating to be right at the number in the feasibility report for construction costs. The schedule would be, we would advertise beginning next week for 3 weeks. We'd open bids on the 12th of March, and then have them tabulated and with a recommendation of award at the meeting on the 19th of March. And an hour before the council meeting on the 19th, we'd have an open house for the East Side residents, let them know what the construction cost is, and have updated assessments for their info, and then they could stay for the council meeting if they wanted to address the council and speak to the project. That would be the time, and at that point, you would either vote to award the project, which would start the construction, or throw the bids out, delay the bids, or whatever. So that's kind of the gist of it right now. I met with Public Works last week, went through the project. I'm leaving this set for Tom to look at a few things, but we're all pretty much on the same page. And like I said, we're thinking the construction estimate's gonna be right on with what we'll see here next month.
Any discussion? Any questions?
What, are we gonna strictly stick with ductile iron, or are we considering PVC?
We talked about that today, and we're gonna put an alternate in for PVC water main, just so we have a price for that and a price for the ductile and see.
Wow, thank you. I've been asking that for the last 3 projects.
Maybe your mic was off. We did.
Phil didn't get it on.
No, but that was brought up today, and Aaron and Tom and I discussed it, and we'll have an alternate for PVC water main. We're gonna leave the service lines copper, but the main itself will be plastic as an alternate bid versus the ductile, and then we'll be able to see what the price is, and then if Tom has some input, there's a little bit of different locating equipment involved if you went to plastic versus ductile, but that's stuff we can discuss at that meeting on the 19th after the bid, but this way, at least we'll have the 2 numbers to look at.
Yeah, we had the situation up at the school there a week ago. The one thing with, if that would have been PVC up there, it would have cracked, but it wouldn't have sheared off. And we do have that rock ledge all over there up on top. And of course, ductile iron and rock ledges, if there's any shifting, it never cracks, it always shears right off. So I think it's good to consider that. Thank you.
Any further discussion? At this time, the chair will take a motion to approve the resolution ordering the advertisement for bids for the East Side 1 improvement project.
So moved. I will second that.
Have a motion by Merle, second by Bill for Resolution 2002. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Thanks,
All
Greg.
right, thank you.
Okay, that brings us to item 8B, the 52 Interchange Project Cooperative Construction Agreement.
I stopped down and met with Aaron this week on that. I kind of apologize to the council that I'm questioning this, but I have so many concerns with this that I guess I just have to bring it up to you. I stopped down and met with Aaron this week, and I told Aaron that the way this whole thing has gone, it just irritates me. The whole overall project for me kind of starts back in the 70s when people were being killed at that intersection out there. And we had a group of people that went to the Capitol and said, we got to do something. And they wanted a stop and go light out there. And at that time, the state said it was budget. I can remember at that time thinking, wow, there's a price tag on people's lives for a stop and go light. That seemed kind of weird to me, but we eventually got the stop and go light, and then our accidents kind of crazy became worse out there because people were speeding up and trying to beat the stop and go light. So when we did have an accident, it was worse. So then they finally put in the yellow blinking light out there too, which has helped. So, but it always struck me funny that there was some kind of a value on life. In the meantime, you know, we were supposed to get this overpass a couple of years ago, and all of a sudden the thing in Pine Island happened, and then we got set back again. Then we've got some friends that live in Pine Island, and now because that development didn't happen down there, their city got notified that possibly the state is going to charge them like 15, 20 million because the project never went through down there. And then we were supposed to be on the list again, and then I see the one going at Hampton. In the meantime, through all this, I asked Aaron and Dave to get a hold of the state and get us a crossing down by the ball diamonds down there. After a month or two, they got back to me and said, that's not in the budget. And I said, wow, tell them we don't need anything special. We just need a painted crossing. And they said, oh, no, they can't do that. It has to be lights and everything. And they just can't afford it right now. Well, we got Twin Rivers down there. We got all this stuff. I see these people crossing. I see the buses stop. They're dropping off these people. And they got ball games. And it just seems to me like every time I turn around, it's like the state don't have time for us, and I don't quite understand that. Then I look at this whole overall project, and we're going to have a roundabout out here, and we will be the only roundabout between here and Rochester. I've never heard if it's because we have more intersections or what reason we're going to a roundabout. Hampton didn't get a roundabout up there, so I don't know why a regular overpass isn't enough. Then they came along when I was originally on the planning commission. We were going to get an overpass out here at 86. And 3 years ago, they came to our planning commission and wanted to do a study and work with them. And when we got done with our meeting, they said that eventually in the next 10 years, they wanted us to take 4 buildings off the corners downtown because our corners are too tight down there and traffic demand was going to require that. And Dave did a great job of having the planning commission study this thing. We all came back and said, no way you're going to take our 4 buildings out of downtown. We're going to reroute the traffic around town. And so at that time, there was plans drawn up of Highway 19 was going to go straight east up over the top of the hill and tie back into the school. That was going to get the commercial traffic out of that end of town. 86 out here was going to have an overpass, and Highway 20 was going to tie directly into that to get Highway 20 out of coming down to Cannon Falls. And now they aren't going to put an overpass in out there either, and they're going to put a U-turn. And when Dave interviews truckers in our industrial park, they all say they're coming through downtown because they're not going through that U-turn out there. So in my 3 or 4 years on planning commission and council now, we've had so many meetings with them. And now I guess the original meeting we had was we were gonna get the bridge over 24. I think it was roughly $1.5 million, the bridge over 24 and the overpass. And all of a sudden, we're still at 1.3 and we're not, they say they're gonna put the bridge in, but I don't know how I can have faith in that where they've never lived up to what they've said to us yet. So the whole package have taken 1.3 million overall. It's gonna cost us 1.6 or 7 by the time we do some tie-ins and some piping. And just give it to the state of Minnesota, and a year from now, everything is gonna be happy. It really bothers the hell out of me. I just don't feel comfortable at all, but yet I can't stop that overpass. But I don't know why we can't have a state representative come down here and meet us directly and let us address these issues with them. And maybe they have done that with the Highway 52 committee, but I haven't seen any of it or been a part of it in the planning commission or the council. So I just wanted to share that all with you tonight, not to stop this thing, but if there's any way this would get sent up to the Minnesota Highway Department, I would like them to know that I think they can do a lot better job of working with our cities out here. Thank you.
Thanks, Leroy. You know, there's times, you know, we try to get them to do their best. I mean, we can't always, you know, we're not always going to win. We can keep asking. I mean, we got 2 or 3 different entities that we deal with when we deal with the county and we deal with the state. I mean, and I understand where you're coming from. And sometimes it seems like, you know, they're on another team instead of trying to be on the same team when we are trying to get projects done.
Right.
And when it comes to public safety, you know, you think the highway department would be a little bit more concerned about that, especially in a town, inside the town or inside the city limits. I mean, so maybe we can work with our state reps to see if we can get some things done and kind of go that route to at least get that put in.
One thing, Robby, is that really bothered me was when they're gonna do the highway project next summer. I even told Aaron and Dave, maybe now is the time to mention it to them because it'd be a good time to fit it all in. And they still were negative about it as far as I know.
Okay. I'll get with Tim Kelly and see what we can,
Thank you.
see if we can get him to talk to him
We're
about
still
it.
looking at that possibility by the ball field there yet.
Yeah, actually, I met with Senator Schmidt a few weeks or so ago about it, and he contacted MnDOT directly. MnDOT responded with some pretty questionable reasons for why they didn't think it was worth it. So we responded back to everybody who was on that MnDOT email with the senator, and so we're thinking hopefully with his support that we'll get that, at least a crosswalk or something in there that we've been asking for a long time. So we are working on it. We've talked to Senator Schmidt about it, and he's kind of working on our behalf right now to help with that. So we're kind of going through it with him, but it's like Leroy said. I mean, sometimes they don't respond, or then they do respond and then they don't respond again for a really long time. And so we're working on it though, and hopefully with the senator's help, we'll get that done.
Well, and if you see Matt Schmidt next time, thank him, because right after he got elected, I called and left a message and told him our concerns. And I said, get a hold of Aaron
Yeah, we
and talk to him about this stuff.
met for a while about some of that stuff, so that's good.
Thank him for responding.
But Leroy, you make a good point. As I was on that 52 Interchange committee, there were days that I wanted to strangle somebody because it was very hard to deal with them. And, you know, and it's too bad because we should all be working together.
Well, I think they should, if Dayton wants to make a difference up there, then take a different plan, get a new director in, somebody that's more open. You know, I'll address some other issues later, but this is a chance to go in a new direction. I don't know if the person up there has been there too long. I can't imagine what their job is like, getting calls all the time from every small city saying, hey, you dummies, get down here and do this. I'm sure they get tired of all that. Maybe the director's burnt out, it's time to move on.
Well, for the 52 interchange, we dealt with the Rochester office of MnDOT, and there have recently been some changes, so I'm hopeful for the future.
Right.
And when we deal with 86, we got to deal with a different district of MnDOT.
Yeah, that'll be
because
St. Paul
Hampton is a different different districts, so. You know, 19, I think it goes to the stoplight and it switches over.
Yep.
You know, these roundabouts, I think the tire shops are the one that are getting them things put in. You gotta take the semi-tires out, run them over the curb.
And I travel around them a bunch, you know, and they're actually, I like them. I mean, because you don't have to stop, you just keep going, so. I think once people get used to them,
Okay.
they'll like them. But with that said, at this time, I'll take a motion to approve the agreement with MnDOT for the 52 interchange project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Merle, second by Bill. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. All right, that moves us on to reports. Dave?
I'll just say to Leroy's comment, you're probably aware that on February 28th, the Chamber is having their breakfast meeting, and MnDOT officials are going to be here to present the plans and update for Highway 52 and the downtown project. So I don't know if there will be particularly new information there, but at least there will be a public presentation at that time. Second thing is with the council's approval tonight of calling for the public hearing for the annexation of the property relative to the Mayo Hospital project. We're anticipating that March 11th, Planning Commission, we will have the application before the Planning Commission for the rezoning, conditional use permit, and really the permit approval recommendation to come out of the Planning Commission onto the City Council then later on in March. So it seems like the project's moving forward at this point.
Thanks. Greg?
Nothing?
Justin?
Well, as the library project is almost totally complete, except for a few minor details, we have finally set dates. Oh, I can't lean back. I don't like microphones either, so. As the library project's almost finished and there's just a few minor details to set up, we do have some final dates. Unfortunately, we, starting on February 11th and 12th, which is next week, we'll be moving out of our temporary location down here at City Hall, which I'd like to thank City Hall staff for putting up with us for the past couple of months. And it's been great for our staff to get to know each other, and I think it's been a good thing for city staff to get to see how we all work and what the different jobs we do. And, you know, it's been interesting to see, well, how many people does City Hall actually bring in, and how many people does the library bring in? And, I mean, we each have a steady workload going through, so probably even some traffic jams in the hallways, which is a good thing. So on February 11th and 12th, we'll be closed to the public. We'll be moving all of our shelves and books out of the temporary location. And then the 13th, February 13th through the 22nd, the library will actually be open, but will only be allowing patrons to use the internet and read our magazines and newspapers. There'll be no book circulation going on. We do ask that you hold your books until we finally open on March 4th. So hold all of your materials and stuff, and of course, we'll take care of the fines and all of that stuff once we open on March 4th. So-
The library that you're going to open on the 13th, is that going to be here still?
Right. The library that will be open from the 13th through the 22nd will still be down here at City Hall. And then from the 22nd through March 4th, everything will be closed. No library business transactions going on whatsoever. We'll be doing our final moving and setup. And then on March 4th, we'll officially open at the new building at 10 a.m. and we'll be ready for service. So
Okay.
we're all certainly excited, and we look forward to opening in our new location and having a little more space.
Thanks. Brenda?
Nothing, thank you.
Chief?
Well, the snowfall that we've had has been early morning snowfalls. However, we're still finding anywhere between half a dozen to a dozen cars that during the day are getting plowed around but are snow covered. So I just want to remind residents that, you know, when we do get overnight snowfalls, to make sure that they get their cars off the streets. It'll save us the trouble of having to issue you a ticket and tow your car, and you the trouble of having to pick it up from the towing company in the morning when it's not out front anymore. So we've got another probably month or so, at least the way the weather's staying that we're going to have to deal with snow. So just wanted to remind our residents. That's all.
Thanks.
Nothing?
Nothing.
I have nothing.
Leroy?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got a couple of things. First of all, I got to warn Aaron and Linnell that about a month ago with all that shooting stuff going on and the governor was having back surgery and stuff, and the crazy things that go on in Washington, I decided, well, as long as he's laid up with surgery, maybe I should write him a letter about some stuff. So I wrote a letter to the governor to talk about the budget. Hopefully, they'll try to do something different this time instead of put it on the backs of schools and cities. And I wrote to him about my concerns with the gun issue and where everything we're going with that. But I got a letter back last week from the state of Minnesota. My wife got excited, wanted to know why I'm getting a letter from the state of Minnesota. And I said, well, I don't know, but I did write to the governor. And she said, you wrote to the governor? And I said, yeah. And she said, why didn't you have me type it? And I said, well, I thought I'd make it personal. She said, I have trouble reading your writing when I do your letters. I don't know, that went very well. And I said, well, they seem to respond to everything, so they must have got it. Yeah, but she said on the letterhead it's addressed to Leroy McCash. So if you get any letters from the state of Minnesota for a Leroy McCash, that would be me. I wanted to get that out there. And yeah, I got told that she will type everything from now on. The other thing, I wanted to recognize some people tonight with the library things up there. When the library project was going on and I was on the construction crew to try to figure out where we're going to go with it, how we're going to do it, how we're going to get it all to come together. It was a great experience. There was good people involved and all that. And at the time, there was quite a few people that really wanted a fireplace in there. The fireplace eventually got dropped because of budget issues and stuff. But the ones that felt that was really important still wanted the fireplace. And at that point, they got into the color of the paint and they got into carpeting, and that's when I said, okay, now I'm done. I'm not good at that. So last fall there, probably about December, I got a call from one of the people on the committee and said they really wanted to try to get a fireplace in there. And I thought, wow, call Justin, you know. But anyway, they went on to explain to me that it was a budget issue, and the one person was willing to donate quite a bit of money and make it work, but he could not donate the whole $10,000. So having known this person all these years, he asked me if there was any way that I thought I could go put the fireplace in and do it all cheaper, and he could work something out with me direct. And I said, wow, that ain't gonna happen, because first of all, there'll be some conflict of interest thing, and second of all, somebody in town is gonna think, wow, Leroy got an inside job here or something. So I said, I don't know what to do with it, but I'll give me a week to think about it. I'll see what I come up with. So over the next week time, he told me what he would be willing to donate and stuff, and I got a hold of Menards and Red Wing. I wanted to make sure to mention their name. And they told me I could go to corporate headquarters and they possibly would donate all equipment. I got a hold of my suppliers to see what they would be interested in doing. In the meantime, I got a hold of my two grandsons when I need some young bulls around, and told them what I was thinking. And I got a hold of a friend of mine, told him what I was thinking. We ended up agreeing with this person, this Jim Bassett, that how about we work out a deal. I'll give the fireplace and the labor, you pay for all the extra expenses, and my two grandsons and my sons will help me, and we'll do it in off time because I'm not donating on my time. So we all got together and made an agreement to do this. So Jim Bassett was very good. He paid for all the extras that were for construction, for wiring, for all that stuff. Doug Duffing also not only donated his labor, but he donated cash to pay for part of my expenses, what I had. He also made it very clear that he didn't want any recognition crap. So hopefully just using his name tonight is okay and I don't make him mad. But I did feel it was important to tell about Cooper Domback helped me, Carter Domback helped me, my son Jared helped, and that's how the whole fireplace project came together because of these people. So I just wanted to recognize them. That's it.
Thanks, Leroy. Thanks for all your hard work on the project, and
Thank you.
thanks a lot.
Nothing.
No, was McCash for the money you gave?
Well,
Or is it money in the future?
you know, I didn't have any money in there. If it was John, sorted out with Johnny Cash or something, I don't know.
I don't have anything. Don't have anything? Just like to say, at the Chamber Breakfast on the 14th, I'll be speaking and giving the State of the City address for all those that are interested. And the City Council was given a tour of the new library this evening. I think when everything's said and done, on March the 4th, when everybody gets a chance to come in and visit it, I think they'll all be impressed and really glad they've got a real nice new library to be able to use and something they can be proud of. So that's all I've got. If nobody else has anything, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.